What does it mean for someone in their everyday life to be chained to a false reality or to their perception? What does it look like to be stuck in that way if I'm trying to make this applicable to someone who's like, okay, I understand the concept. I understand the VR. I've heard a little bit about the fact that everything is either a simulation or a projection. What does that mean to me if I'm just going about my daily life?
Well, there's an emotional way of thinking about that and also an intellectual way. And I can maybe just briefly talk about both. On an emotional sense, I think I am my body because I think that objects in space-time are real, that they exist even when they're not perceived. So this is where it gets very personal. When I say the moon doesn't exist unless you perceive it, that also holds for your own body. Your body exists when you perceive it, and it doesn't exist when it's not perceived. So that's where now people start to say, okay, this is getting very, very weird. But that's where it's going to go. It leads to everything you see inside of space-time is your construction. None of it exists apart from your experiences. So on a personal level, to the extent that you're identified with your body, and by the way, I am. So this is a very, very deep psychological and emotional kind of attachment. And people who are in the mystical traditions will say that usually it takes many, many decades of intense meditation to let go of the illusion that the chain, to use your Plato's phrase, the chain to our own bodies. So that's I chose that one because that's right there in your face. Everybody's chained to their bodies. I am chained to my body. And very, very few people escape those chains. And so to the extent that I'm afraid about dying, for example, I'm in those chains. And so I will confess I'm chained, right? So on an emotional level, I'm chained. Intellectually, the chain is not being able to think what could possibly be beyond space-time. It's like I've actually given a talk where brilliant physicists or scientists that I know will ask me, what in the world are you even talking about? I can't even imagine what you're talking about, something beyond space-time. Space-time is reality. What could you possibly mean? So that's an intellectual chain to not even be able to think outside of space-time. But again, high-energy theoretical physicists are doing that now.